No.
I believe we are live.
Nope.
No? Not live? I mean, there may be a slight delay. But we should be showing up live in the here and the now. Pretty sure we're up there. It's not, oh, it's not showing the video.
No. No sound. Oh,
Yeah.
wrong one. You made two.
Yeah, I think it was the one that had the little error thing pop up.
Oh,
So
okay.
we can delete that.
Got you. Well, hey guys, sorry that you just watched us figure what we were doing out.
Yeah, because I was just like, I'm pretty sure it's there. I'm pretty sure it's there.
Yeah, so happy Wednesday.
What
We
up?
missed you guys.
Yeah.
We're back. We need
Uh,
some people. We need to hire some people or something.
I know, right?
Or volunteer because we ain't got no money to pay y'all.
Make sure the sound is working on that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool beans. Yay!
What's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up to all our, family and friends out there and I'll call it TV land, even though it's not TV land.
Right. I did that the other day. I was telling somebody, I'm like, on our television show, and I'm just like, I mean, that's the simplest way to kind of,
right.
Say it without being like, podcast, video on YouTube, whatever.
Yeah.
Just like on our show, But yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to welcome back? Welcome back. It's been a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2
we
weeks.
missed 1 week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you want to explain that or no?
I mean,
And brief. We ain't got to go into full detail, of course.
yeah, definitely brief. So that life and death.
Yes.
We are human, so we have to deal with some certain things that we would rather not.
Yeah, we experienced a lot of unfortunate life circumstances in our family.
Yeah.
Over the last month and some change, and we just need a little bit of time.
Right. Yeah. This last one hit us
pretty hard.
Hitting us, yeah, pretty hard. So
that.
But we're here.
So yeah, we wanted to take a little bit of time and as always, mental and emotional health is super, super, super important, and we want to always make sure that we are staying on top of that. That's one of the things that we
doing
definitely promote here on the channel, as well as, like you said, King's Kids Wellness.
Yeah.
We promote mental, emotional health.
Yep.
Right. And so that's what we took some time for that. That being said, we are back and we are rocking and rolling. Yeah, let's kind of jump into, well, first of all, let's do like we always do, our weekly check-in. All of that being said, how are you mentally, dear? How was your day? How's life treating you? Etc.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, we're doing all our sharing and stuff. Again, it's just us. So we have to do all of that stuff ourselves. But yeah, so today was pretty much I was just not into it. And I can't even say because I was reading, because I did not start reading until 12.
Right.
I was literally I don't want to read. This is my last week for my first marriage class.
Okay.
So, when Friday comes,
Deuces.
and then I have to wait for my final grades to be put in, probably get those next week. to see how I did. Yeah. So, and I only have like 3 more assignments to be graded for this class.
Solid.
So yeah. And I only have 1 assignment left to do, which is a quiz.
Solid.
Which is, oh my goodness. His quizzes are like exams.
Like whole exams.
Whole exams.
And it's all good.
Yeah. But yeah, so how was your day?
We did a brief check-in when I first got home from work. My day, people, my week, honestly, has been kind of interesting to give a long and short, as I like to say, of what it's been like this week for me. Working on a project, it's a pretty extensive project, and the people who I am delivering said project to, they are very picky, to say the least. And it'll happen like, oh, I would like this thing added to the project or that thing added, or we have a delivery date, and so show up to the delivery date and it's just like, hey, here's the progress that we made. This looks perfect. Thank you so much. 2 days later, it's just like, that thing that was perfect, that's actually not what I wanted the whole time. I want something else. And so there's been, it's I mean, and that's kind of the world that, that we live in as far as the technological aspect of things.
Right.
Sometimes you don't necessarily know what thing is or isn't gonna work until you're actually using
Trial
it.
and error.
Yeah, so it's not like I hate this thing. It's not that at all. It's just that you recognize and you understand that it can get a little bit frustrating if you spend an immense amount of time on one thing, thinking, trying to get it perfect, only to find out that what was perfect is no longer perfect.
Right.
So, all that being said, it's still been a good week. It's still been a pretty productive week.
It has. Yeah.
The weather has been phenomenal.
Yes. I stepped outside and I put on my coat and I stepped outside and didn't look at the weather or anything.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
no coat.
Why do I? Right. But also, listen, guys, I also had on shorts. So, it really didn't go together anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely did need the coat. It was like 64.
Right. And so speaking of that, one thing that I've been doing, and I actually have a video or 2 that I'm going to post on the King's Kids channel, is I've been doing and I told you about this, I think, I've been doing my daily walks.
Yes.
So thing that I've decided
He has been out walking me because I have not, guys. I have not.
So thing that I decided to start doing is every day, instead of taking like a full hour for lunch or whatever, if I decide to eat lunch, then I'll eat kind of quickly, and then I'll take 10 minutes of that time period that would normally be a lunch break, and I'll go for a walk, and it may be walk around the building or walk around the parking lot, or just back and forth to the car, you know what I'm saying, depending on how far I parked or whatever. But whatever it is, just outside walking for 10 minutes. Nothing super high impact or whatever, but the idea is that if you're inactive already, any activity is improvement.
Yes.
And if you're active, adding different spurts of activity where you normally wouldn't still also helps your heart health, helps your body, you know what I'm saying? Promotes weight loss and a healthier lifestyle, healthy lungs, all of that stuff, right? And then, fresh air is always great for the skin, it's great for your mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking about when you say good for your skin and how I went to the doctor when we were in Nova. So
the
year before
it's been
last.
a while. Yeah.
No, I went to the doctor last year. We went to the doctor, but the year before last.
Well, it's been a while since you had the conversation.
Yeah, in Nova, and the doctor was just like, "Yeah, so your vitamin D is kind of low."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "That's because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we are hours away from normality. Like the people that we know.
Normally,
So, and then our apartment complex was a little weird. We're in the city, and it's just like, do I want to go out and walk? I don't know if the crime rate is high.
Right,
You know, so it's just like,
mind you, there are other sources of vitamin D.
But I knew exactly why I was low.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm barricaded in my house. Like,
no, seriously. And
everybody has COVID, clearly.
Right. And so, but with that, again, my energy levels have been way, way better throughout the day. If you notice, through our numerous emails, I don't really say that I'm super tired, like talking about it as much anymore or at all. Energy levels have been great. My attitude has been drastically better, pertaining to work, and just mental clarity has improved just by, again, the 10 minutes of being outside in the fresh air. So
when you're out in nature, you can't help, because you look around and you see God's glory. You see His hand. So you can't really be too upset.
Right. But
when you start to think, when I think of the goodness of Jesus. Okay. All right, guys.
Also, increase water intake. This is my 6th bottle of water for the day. Wow. Yeah, I'm proud of that part.
That's good.
Because I wasn't drinking water at all.
No, you were drinking water, but you weren't drinking a lot.
No.
Well, during the day, maybe not, because I don't see you during the day. But when you got home, you would take the big jug and he would drink out of the big jug.
So, anyway,
not a bottle, not a glass.
Yeah, a gallon jug. Why not?
Drink out the big.
Anywho, first up on the docket, let's get right into the discussion for the day. So we're talking
about our relationships in comparison with other people. I can't remember the title that you gave us, but
Married with Friends.
Married with Friends.
There you go.
Right. Simple and short.
It's all good.
But yeah, so the first topic we wanted to talk about is Kiki shared. I can't remember her married last name. Sorry, Kiki. She said about a month or so ago. You were salty about that.
We late to the party with this one.
I was about to say you a little salty because she got married.
Nah, it's all good.
But yeah,
she's missing out anyway. No.
Okay. She was saying that when her single female friends come into town, she puts them up. Now that's people that got money. We ain't doing that. Yeah. People, she puts her single friends up in hotels because they're not coming to stay at her house with her husband.
Right.
So I found it, and everybody was talking about it. It was shared on social media, and oh my God, Kiki said this and da da da. And I just thought it was fascinating. Just the whole concept of it. Because necessarily we don't have that issue of having our single friends coming to stay with us. But I just thought it was, just interesting.
Yeah, the mentality, and I think her explanation was something on the lines of, mind you, I didn't hear the whole thing, I didn't see the whole thing, but the explanation was something on the lines of, her and her mom had discussions. They've already talked about what married life looks like and all these things, and to avoid confrontation, to avoid the what's the word? The ability to, or the opportunity to have these types of instances. I'll just let my friends stay. They're my friends, whatever. I'll put them up in a hotel. I can afford it. It's not a big deal, and we'll hang out. But I don't need you around my home. And she even said that her and her husband were discussing, and it was more so kind of a him thing than her. Like it was a both of them thing, But he was in super support because he was just like, he doesn't want people getting that comfortable with their home. You know what I'm saying? Because if you allow people to come in to stay, then they get this, oh, well, I stayed in this room. I did it. It becomes home for them as well. And he's just like, nah, I want people to, if I come and if I invite you over and you in the living room, you just in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't feel comfortable to go down the hall to the bathroom
Right.
without, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that type of thing. So it wasn't like she's saying can't nobody come over, and he's just like, but why?
Yeah.
It was like a mutual agreement, understanding thing, and he had his reasons for it. She had her reasons, but you
Right.
know, the
Yeah.
world does what it does.
It does. And I just, again, like I said, thought it was interesting because I can understand it on both ends. Like, that's weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then I can also understand, okay, they're newlyweds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
newlyweds.
Yeah.
I may be able to let you stay in my place 2 years from now when we done got over the honeymoon phase and
Right.
we've acclimated to our life together.
Right, yeah.
How we want our home, how adjusting to the newness of us. You know what I'm saying? So I understood it on that aspect.
Right,
But
yeah.
as well as the, just the outsider looking in, like, well, that's strange because one, I ain't putting you up in a hotel. If you coming to visit me, you gonna have to fit that bill on your own. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's be clear. We understand that these celebrities live in a different world than we live in.
I understand that, but
Financially,
if my
anyway.
bank account ever got
Right.
to $1 million and you was coming to stay, in the town that I'm in, and it was just like, nah, you can't stay at my house, I'm not fitting the bill for you.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna do that. You on vacation. Therefore, that means I'm gonna pay your vacation stay?
Yeah.
No. Now again, that's sweet of Kiki. She does what she wants to. It's her money.
Yeah.
Her friends, whatever.
Right.
But bruh.
But even outside of the realm of finance, like I understand it.
No, I definitely understand.
I understand it, but at the same time, like
if you think your friends or your spouse is going to do that, you probably shouldn't be friends with them or married to them.
Right now.
Now, again, I understand opportunity can come to anybody.
And statistically speaking, when these things happen, it's like, I ain't gonna say nobody, but most of the time people don't cheat with the random that they just met at the club, or at
What's
this
the statistics on
at
that?
this social event or whatever. Like, I met you today, and then we just gonna cheat. Like, it's like, no, this usually the cheating happens, the incidents happen with someone who's familiar. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's
It depends on who you're dealing with.
Well, yeah, but
it really does depend on who you're dealing with.
But then,
because they could be a stranger to you,
and
but real familiar with your partner.
Well, but again, it's the accidental cheatings because her stance was essentially like, you don't want to give the opportunity for people to slip up or one thing lead to another, but the accidents, in all honesty, happen with people who are familiar. This doesn't apply to somebody who's looking to cheat. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't apply for someone who's looking for a reason or an excuse to go out here and do. Then yeah, they'll find a random stranger. But it's most like it's similar to sexually taking advantage of someone. Most people who get taken advantage of in that regard, it doesn't happen from a stranger. It happens with the person people who they're familiar with.
No, I understand that.
Could tell some stories, but I'm not gonna.
Right.
Not about me, but
Yeah.
ain't nobody touch my butt.
Okay.
Sorry.
I wasn't expecting that one.
But yeah,
no, I definitely understand. Again, I definitely understand it. But I guess the interesting part to me was that she specifically, and I didn't watch the whole thing like you did.
I didn't either.
But she specifically, from what I gathered, was talking about her single friends.
Yeah, her single female friends.
Right. So does that, now it leads to, ask the question is, so can your married friends come? Because that's still an opportunity to cheat just as well as the single person.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So, and
that is a phenomenal point, actually.
Right. And then honestly, they'll be the ones that cheat. And I love marriage, and I understand that the sanctity and good marriages and all that stuff, but there are people who are married who are not happy.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
That is what it
And
is.
they will come to you, and you may think everything is fine, and they stay at your house, and then
Bam, boom.
bam, boom, they see how good you got it, and then there it is.
There it goes.
So again, regardless of if my friend is single or my friend is married, there's still opportunity always. Even if they don't stay, it is still opportunity. I know you are friends with my spouse. That doesn't mean I don't ever have conversations with you.
Right.
We not friends on social media. That does not mean that you're going to keep me away from that individual.
Yeah.
Because if I want to cheat on you, I'm going to cheat.
Right.
If I want to cheat with this person, and that person is willing to cheat with me,
right,
it's going to happen.
Right.
Whether they stayed in your house or not.
And
because, and for real, in Kiki's instance, she travels.
Yeah.
Does your husband travel with you everywhere you go?
But
So,
also,
and I understand the precaution.
But also, I feel like a little bit too, kind of like you said, that's a little extreme.
Well,
because
I'm a person that I got to look at every angle.
Yeah, and I feel like, and I'll say this, and then we can move on to the next subject. But I do feel like it's a little bit extreme, in that like realistically, if you have to worry to that degree, like
I don't have the energy.
Then either maybe you should, like you said, maybe you shouldn't be married, or maybe you shouldn't be friends with the friends that you think are your friends. Like because like, and I look at us, for example, we've stayed at other couples' homes, as well as we've hosted other couples.
Yeah.
In our singleness, we've stayed with other people. We had other people staying with us, and that's never been.
Yeah.
And I'll speak for myself, and during my single time, that's never been a thing. When I had my apartment, there were several people who
congregated at your home.
Congregated at our home, and in several instances, these individuals congregated with their significant others, whatever. And it was never I can't let this person come, because what if somebody try to get with my girl? Like, no, like these are my friends, and I trust that that's not gonna happen. Like that's just So to me, if there's that level of trust, it says that one of two things is gone on. Either your partner has a history of cheating, your friends have a history of trying to step into other people's relationships, or you've had some traumatic situations and you haven't necessarily 100% grown and moved past that, and that's okay.
Right.
But to me, that's just not a normal mentality of my single friend specifically can't come and stay just because I got married now. That's a little extreme.
Yeah.
Me. But anyway, next thing on the docket.
So we've had this conversation the last few weeks. Being friends with your exes.
Yeah. Now let's say this in regards to the friends thing. If my single friend, now she was talking about her female friend, so that's different, right? But if my single friend is also an ex, or your single friend is also, one of your exes, or vice versa, your single friend is one of my exes, to me that becomes a no-no, right? That's when that line gets drawn, because it's just like, all right, no. Just no. But single friends, exes in general, that's a subject and a half. Yeah. And to be honest, I say that it in my mind, well, let's be clear, is the question, should you have exes as friends, or what's the question?
It's not a question. It's just as exes as friends.
Okay. So my thought and my philosophy on that is, honestly, and I hate to say this because it's not really an answer, but it's an answer, is it depends.
I agree.
Who's the ex?
Yeah.
What type of relationship did you have? How recent of an ex is this? And what's you all status currently, right? Because, like, again, let's take Crystal and I. If we start dating, or, we'll say start dating. If we start dating and my ex is still my friend, but my ex is my ex of 3 weeks, then
So we've been dating. We only dated for 3 weeks, or we just broke up 3 weeks ago.
we just broke up 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And now we're dating, and it's just like, but this is my best friend. No, that's not your best friend. Like,
Now y'all still in the breakup, getting back together phase. So I'm gonna just go ahead and
get
just cut myself
yourself out of the situation,
Right.
Yeah. Or again, if this is an ex of, years past, we're not super old. So let's just say this is an ex from like high school, right? High school, early college.
I don't even claim high school relationship.
Right.
So anybody I talked to during high school, you just a high school classmate.
You just a human. But no, like high school, early college, right? It depends on how deep seated that relationship was and how the relationship ended and what each person's perspective is on the relationship. If you got an ex from high school, from early college, and they just like, I mean, yeah, we cool, but if I had the chance, then no, you can't be friends with that person. That's not because that's not a friend.
Right.
That's not, because again, I look at myself.
That's an opportunist.
Yeah, I look at myself because take it like I'm a heterosexual male. So I look at it in terms of my heterosexual male friends. It doesn't matter what the opportunity looks like. I'm not going to try to become intimate with Jamar. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to try to be intimate with Thomas or Lee or, any of my friends, any of my male friends. So if they're a friend, male or female, then I and they fit in that same vein, I'm not going to try to be intimate with them. No circumstance makes me want to be intimate with you. Right? But then if they don't feel the same way.
Right.
So yeah, I mean but that's my take,
Yeah, I again agree with you. It depends. I think it definitely depends. And then there are levels, I guess, to friendships or to acquaintances. And I guess those will be the differentiation. Wording is hard. The differences.
No, that was right. Differentiation.
I know. I be reading the word all the time, but in my books. But yeah, so it's the acquaintances. If I see you, I know you, I speak to you, and then we're going about our day. Then it's my friends, like I have conversations with. I might, plan. Let's hang out. Let's, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely depends, and I think for us, we have established, okay, this person is an ex, but I don't have conversations with them. Like, they're a cool person.
Yeah.
But to say that you're my friend and that we can hang out and have conversations, no, I don't. I have no desire to do that. And it's not necessarily because, for real, because we're married. But because we're married, there's an extra, notion to say, no. There's no need to have conversations. There's no need to, you see a picture like, oh, you remember that time? No. Anybody got time for that?
Yeah.
Because also, I'm married, there's no need to even.
Yeah. Also, I think it, and this is, and I may get flack for this, right? But I think part of it is, how does your relationship impact your level of communication, your type of communication, how frequently you communicate with this person? For example, and we're not even talking about like I'm not going to say this to you because my girlfriend or my boyfriend is sitting right here.
Right.
But if we would communicate as A, and then now, and this is how we communicate it. We're friends and we communicate this way every single day. And then, or however frequently we communicate, right? And then I get into a relationship and now I feel as though I can no longer communicate with you in this capacity because I'm in a relationship, then that's an ex. And even, let's take it out of the realm of exes. that's a friend that you don't need to me, don't need to have of your attracted gender because of the way your interactions look, right? And let's make it not as cryptic and a little bit more like a little bit more plain, right? If you guys hear me talk about my friend Kendra on here from time to time and different ones, and I use Kendra because she's a female friend.
Right.
If Kendra and I would get on the phone and we're talking about our sex lives and what we used to do, or or what we want to do, and all of these
What
things,
we could do,
how much fun, what are her likes and dislikes, all of these types of things,
even in a joking manner.
right, even in a joking manner. And then now I feel as though because I'm in a relationship with Crystal, I can no longer have those conversations with her. Now, mind you, that is a good thing that I feel that way. But also, I probably should reevaluate my friendship with Crystal. I mean, with Kendra as a friend in general.
Yeah.
Because chances are that friendship is a little bit more inappropriate than what it probably should be. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not you're involved in the picture or not. You see what I'm saying? And so I think that's a good measuring stick, because again, now mind you, that kind of seems like a little bit of a double standard, because I definitively remember conversations that Jamar and I would have, not necessarily on the lines of what we would do with each other, but what our experiences and likes and dislikes and things of that nature would be, but also those aren't conversations that I had with my female friends.
Right.
Right.
But I honestly, what you were saying, I felt like those conversations honestly are inappropriate to have, male or female, with your male or female friends, because, and I say this because, it violates the privacy of
Your relationship.
what you had with the other person, your relationships with the other person. So I think there is a level of, and we talked about boundaries the other day, about some other stuff. There are boundaries that we should have in all of our relationships.
Right. Now, and again, full disclosure, my boundaries, have in my old age definitely changed and altered versus what they were in college, right? Of course. Because in college, if I classified you as friend, more specifically with other guys, if I classified you as friend, I was an open book. You know what I'm saying? If I was thinking it, if I was feeling it, then
I understand that.
But you know what I'm saying? Not the female friends so much, but then also a lot of guys would have female friends or sisters, whatever, that they would be intimate with. That wasn't a thing in my book. To me, it was if I'm going to that degree with you conversationally, then it's because there's intent. You know what I mean? Now, whether that intent gets realized or not depends on how our relationship, friendship, whatever grows. But at least in some capacity, at some point, there was intent, right? But that being said, let's take it back to the realm and the avenue of the exes, right? Now we're talking about somebody who that intent has been realized with.
Right.
And you have these connections and you have these boundaries that have been crossed legitimately, and there was reason and cause for it, but you have these boundaries that have been crossed. It's very, very difficult to uncross a boundary. And I'll say it this way: you can't uneat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Right.
Once you can
that's why I won't ever.
Or like a piece of chicken or whatever, right? Once you started eating a meal, you can stop eating that meal, but you can't uneat it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
People will probably argue if you just throw it up.
But again,
you've already done the act.
That's not uneating it. You know what I'm saying? That's getting rid of it after you've consumed it.
But it's been consumed.
Yeah, but you can't undo the act of consumption.
I got you.
And so that being said, like you because you can't uncross the boundaries, these boundaries have already been broken, it becomes a major challenge to then say, okay, now I'm going to put these walls up, I'm going to put these boundaries up, but still allow you the same level of access.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The access has to be cut off.
Right.
Or at least the access has to be restricted relative to the boundary that you're trying to place, or that you're trying to reenact. Right. And if you're not restricting the access, then the boundary is never going to be established. It's never going to be recreated.
Right.
That wall is never going to go back up because at the end of the day, I still have the same access to you. So I still feel as though the same level of whatever it was that we had is still available to me.
Right.
Now, mind you, the circumstances may differ. It may not be at the drop of a hat.
Right.
But what was allowed is still allowed. Right. I just got to figure out what the circumstance. If that's what I desire, I just have to figure out the right circumstance. Right. And so to me, that's where the X issue kind of becomes a little bit muddied.
Right.
If you know.
And honestly, I feel as though to eliminate that, the opportunity, the potential of it becoming muddy, I realized this is what I want.
Right.
So, come hell or high water, if I have to lose everything else, I'm going to make sure I put my all into making this work.
Correct.
I may have conversation because we're friends. I'll have a conversation with you and say, I choose this person.
Right.
And this can no longer be.
Right.
We can be cordial to one another, whatever. But as far as how we were previously, it cannot be.
Yeah.
And that's not trying to hurt your feelings. That's not trying to be mean or nasty or anything like that. But I got to protect my home. Right. And we've said it before, in dating and in engagement, we're preparing for marriage.
Yeah.
So we can't expect us to get into marriage or be married and then it's gonna click. Yeah. It's gonna click. It's gonna start working out. No, we have to start acting and doing those things while we're dating and while we're engaged, so that when we're married, everything is smooth, or as smooth as it could be.
And I will say this, and I say this solely based on the conversations that we've had, prior to this. Also, we do have to understand that it is a process.
It is a process.
You know what I'm saying? It's a process. The conversion from single-mindedness to couple relationship mindedness is a process, and it's a transition that happens over time. It's not immediate, and if it is immediate, then something, there are some things that need to go back and be looked at and be reconsidered and checked because
we don't want you to fake the funk.
Right. We don't want you to fake the funk, nor do we want you to be too eager or too pressed. Right. Because then maybe the motivations are not what you think they would, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe what they should be. Right. It's a process that has to happen over time. Right. Now, again, in that, don't drag your feet in the process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a process. Right, but it's been 6 years.
Yeah, right.
And you still process.
Yeah, because we know some...
We would call you dial up.
No, big facts. No, because we know some people that are still processing 10, 15, 20 years
they
down
married.
The line.
They married.
Yeah.
And you should not be still processing.
Right.
Especially in areas like this.
Yeah.
You should not be, because of what marriage entails.
Yeah.
Because of what the covenant of marriage and the commitment and the vows that you make entail, you should not be processing. Certain things you should just not be processing.
Yeah.
And if you ever was just like, let me ponder upon this, you probably need to have a conversation and probably to seek help.
Yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, a lot of things can be solved with having conversations, being real, and seeking assistance. So yeah.
Yeah. Last thing that we want to do today, I think that's gonna round out our discussion for the most part. But we do want to do one thing. We have our game box. I forget the name of it.
It's just called for husbands and wives.
Oh yeah, we have our game box for husbands and wives. You know, just conversation. It's like the conversation game type of thing.
It's honestly topics that you'll want to talk to your partner about, just to kind of gauge and see what they think about certain topics.
As well as, you know, relationship counseling, couples counseling, marriage counseling, those things like that. If you're looking to take your relationship to the next level. So what I think we're going to do, at least for the foreseeable future, is we're going to have our normal Wednesday discussions, and then we'll close it out with a question from our conversation box. So what's the question for today?
So it is a 2-part question, but they go hand in hand. What are ways we can protect our marriage from adultery? And how do we honor our marriage and keep our marriage bed pure?
Well, I would say...
I want to read the scripture.
Oh, God.
Hebrews, not 11:1, but Hebrews 13:4. A man who commits adultery has no sense. Yo, that'll preach by itself. I just read the scripture. I'm so sorry. Whoever does so destroys himself. Because when he finds a wife, you know what? That's gonna be something. I'm sorry. I got excitable.
So the question: how can we?
What are ways we can protect our marriage from adultery?
So I would say the main way is when we have single friends that want to come visit, put them up in a hotel.
Let me get your card. No, I'm not swiping any of my cards. Let me get your card.
No, but honestly, and this question honestly is why I partly agree with the Kiera approach. Like, look, I'm protecting my relationship.
Again, that's why I said I can see on both ends.
Like, call it extreme if you want to. I'm protecting my relationship from even the possibility and opportunity for adultery. Now, at this point, if adultery happens,
it's all on you, y'all.
It's because you or me made a conscious decision. We looked for it. It didn't accidentally happen.
Yeah.
So, but in that same vein, it's one of the main reasons is low key just talking about everything.
That's what I was gonna say. Having that conversation is everything.
If something feels off, if you're not, because we're talking about adultery, if you're not feeling sexually stimulated or pleased
or emotionally connected,
fulfilled in your relationship with your partner, with your husband or wife, have that conversation. Like, look, babe, it ain't happening for me. I need something more. I need something else. And more specifically, what else do you need? What else do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, have those conversations and have them not from an attacking standpoint.
Right.
Like, you're not doing this, but more so.
I don't understand why you doing.
Right. No. But more so from the perspective of, this is how I feel.
Right.
This is what I am looking for. How can we get to this?
Right.
Right. Have the conversations.
And come with some suggestions.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna tell me you're missing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And then I say, okay, so how do you think? How am I supposed to, give you that, or how do you feel like we should work on that? And you be like, I don't know, then you probably need to also go back and to think about that a little bit more. Yeah. To say, is this exactly what I feel like we're missing, or is it something else? Or is it is what we're missing? How can I be fulfilled in this? And then say, hey, babe, so this is what I feel like we're missing or an area that we could grow
Right.
in. And this is something that I think would help us with that.
Right.
You know, if it's I'm missing the intimacy in our relationship. What do you think about going on a date night? You know,
Yeah.
every week or every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What do you think about planning something big? You know, for anniversary or a weekend getaway, just us, no phones, whatever.
And this may sound a little anti-romantic, but because we're talking about adultery and sexuality, maybe if you're not feeling, what I'm saying, if you're not feeling like you're fulfilled and you're considering stepping out or whatever the case may be, plan your encounters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, plan them out. Like, oh, so on every Tuesday, or maybe not even every Tuesday, but next Tuesday, we're gonna do this, and this at XYZ. So then now you have the build up. You know what I'm saying? You have the anticipation.
I thought about the dice. The
Yeah.
role playing dice or whatever dice, but then I was like meatless Mondays and Taco Tuesdays.
But I mean, but
excuse
no.
me sakes.
But
that's,
really, like
because
plan
if
it
you
out.
have those, we talk about getting healthier and stuff. We have plans of Mondays, meatless Mondays, Tuesdays, Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So Wednesday,
which actually those are things.
No, I know. That's why I started laughing. Wednesday could be Wild Out Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know what Friday is. But
Freaky Friday.
So make it interesting. Everything doesn't have. Yes, you're missing that thing. Yes, you needing to be fulfilled in that area. But it doesn't have to be like so serious.
Yeah.
We posted something yesterday about laughing together, having fun together, enjoying one another. Let's enjoy our marriages because we have that right. That's our duty to enjoy our marriage.
Right. And then to the second part of it, which is how do you honor your marriage and keep the bed pure?
Yes.
Part of that is keeping other folk out of it.
Of course.
But honestly, that's a part of the honoring is the conversational piece. Because again, if I honor this thing, if I treasure this thing, if I hold my marriage in high regard, then I'm not going to allow a lack of communication or a disagreement or a misunderstanding to rupture that thing.
Yeah.
And so because I honor it, much like if you honor the president of the United States or you honor a king or whatever, you go to that king. Any chance you have to have a conversation with the king, you want to have the conversation. Anytime you get a chance to sit with the CEO of the company, you want to do so, but you're not coming to them like, yo, what's up, bruh? It's not that. It's you sit down and you have the respectful conversation. How are you doing today? I had a couple of thoughts. What do you think about this? That's the way you're going to talk to them. So you honor the marriage the same way and you honor the spouse the same way. Hey, look, I was considering, what are your thoughts on this thing? This is how I feel. How can we work this out? That's how you honor the marriage and keep the bed pure, and understand that too. Don't let everybody in your business. Don't tell everybody what you're doing, because
And that's why, going back to the beginning of the whole friendships, and we had conversations and X, Y, and Z. This is why I said that, because when we have to set boundaries. If we don't set boundaries, even in our singleness, and we carry our friends with us into our marriages.
Yeah.
You was doing that out there. I know you got your wife like that. I know you got your husband. You doing your husband, and it's just like, now I got to set boundaries with you. And it's like, what you mean, man? What you mean, like, girl? What you talking about? Like,
I got
if I set those boundaries in my singleness, I don't have to worry about setting those boundaries in my marriage.
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Certain conversations, I'm not going to have to worry about having. I don't have to worry about having certain conversations with my friend Shamir. Because we never had those conversations in our singleness. Right. You know what I'm saying? When my college friends was like, you ain't never did this and da-da-da. Y'all ain't never as friends and da-da. And it was just like, no, that's my best friend. We have boundaries as best friends. There are certain things we don't do together. There are certain things that we don't talk about together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now that I'm married, we don't have to worry about those conversations because we never had them in our singleness.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I said that.
No, I'm with you.
I understand everybody ain't like that. I haven't always been like that. But as you grow and you mature and you become wiser, you act upon the wisdom that you have.
Because trust and believe, me and my friends talked about everything.
I know. I was there for half of it.
We talked about everything.
Well, at least the latter part.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. In the comments, if you have any thoughts or opinions on these things, feel free to drop a comment.
I hope that you guys learn something, that you will become wiser, that you will it would spark you to think and to ponder whatever decisions that you or whatever stage of life that you're in as of right now. We gave you 3 good topics, all dealing with marriage
boundaries. Honestly, married with friends.
So share and like
as
this video.
always, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're new, subscribe rather.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
We're right here.
Also on TikTok.
Yes, look at you remembering.
And until next week, we out of here.